Hey everyone, and welcome to CircuitMess's production line. So in this facility we assemble all of the circuit boards using a whole lot of these different highly advanced machines. The thing in front of me is called a pick and place machine, and this one is used for placing the small tiny electronic components onto the circuit board using these pneumatic heads. The thing I'm going to talk about today is the step before the pick and place machine. So before the boards go into the pick and place machine, we need to use this thing, which is called a stencil printer or a solder paste printer. So how does this work? When we decide to start manufacturing a circuit board, we then put it in a big panel like this. A panel is this thing which has lots of these small circuit boards put in one big board like this, and you will see that every single one of our products actually is panelized just like this. This panel also has these tiny lines that you can see here. These are the cut lines which have been just marked with this knife in the factory, and after we assemble all of the circuit boards, this just breaks off easily into these individual pieces. So after we designed this panel, we put these holes in the corners right here so that we can mount it on this thing here. This is called the stencil printer, as I said. So the stencil printer also needs this thing called the stencil. So a stencil is actually a big steel plate with these tiny holes, and these holes, they actually determine where the solder paste is going to be applied. So you will see that if we take this circuit board and if we place it onto this panel here, you will see that all of these shiny pads actually correspond to the holes that are on this stencil right here. The way this works is that we apply the solder paste on top here by using this big knife. This big knife is powered by compressed air, and it very evenly spreads the solder paste on top of this stencil right here onto all of these positions here. Why do we need a machine for this? So actually we don't. You can also do this by hand by just putting a board onto the stencil and then taking some kind of a scraper to do it like this. But by doing it with a professional machine, we can spread the solder much evenly so that it applies to all of these tiny pads. This is usually not problematic on big pads like this, but when you have these super tiny electronic components such as these, then it's very important to have a very precisely and evenly spread out solder paste. Why do we need solder paste? Because after we apply it here, we then take the board like this by hand, and then we put it inside here into this machine. So what happens next here is that we make a program here in this machine which can then be used for placing all of these tiny electronic components onto the solder paste. And the machine actually has 6 different cameras, 5 here and also one here in this head here, and then it takes these 4 heads, picks the components up, and basically sticks them onto the circuit board here. Finally, after that is done, it goes into this baby right here. This is called a reflow oven, and it's used for heating the circuit board so that the solder paste melts, and then that the connection establishes between the chip and the electronic circuit board. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Let me know if you like content like this one, and thank you for supporting CircuitMess. Bye bye.